Academy here in San Antonio. And we've heard a lot of great things about programs that are available in this wonderful city for students. But what I do is I work with a program that creates opportunity for teachers. And we support teachers. I myself am a teacher, and so let me get this quick. After each, okay. All right, a little bit about me before we begin. My fancy title is Educational Development Specialist. I work at Teacher Enrichment Initiatives, which is at the Health Science Center. I am and always will be a science teacher. I started out teaching high school science. I taught IPC, chemistry, and AP Chem. And I miss it terribly. And if you would have asked me when I started my career, would you ever leave the classroom, my answer would have been not just no, but hell no. I love being in the classroom, but I noticed something probably about my 4th or 5th year in teaching, is that I started noticing some very bad behavior, and it troubled me. But the bad behavior wasn't the students. The bad behavior was the teachers. And it was every time we announced mandatory teacher professional development. I don't know about you, but every time I heard those words, I started developing a very negative attitude. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Some administrator has attended a workshop, and now we have to attend training on this magnificent new wonderful approach to teaching our students. And then you'd get to the workshop, and I taught high school, and every now and then it would be an elementary teacher standing up there, an elementary expert that the district would bring in, and we'd be sitting there going, but how does this relate to my seniors? How does this help my kids figure out what they want to do with their lives? And at the risk of being a little bit naughty, we went to a workshop, and it was an elementary teacher running it. And I don't know about you, but elementary teachers like these little gimmicks. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. And for a high school teacher, that's like running your fingernails down chalkboard. There was one in particular, she liked to do hand things to motivate her kids. And so we shared a little something, and she goes, "Oh, very good, very good." And we're all looking at her going, "You teach elementary, don't you?" And she goes, "Yes." It's like, "Well, what are you doing?" She goes, "Well, that's the ketchup bottle. Kids get the ketchup bottle when they do well." And I said to her, "We teach high school. If you do that gesture at high school, it means something totally different." And she's standing in front of us doing this, and all of a sudden it dawned on her what it might represent. So when I had the opportunity to do something for teachers, I felt that I could do more for our profession, for my profession, if I stepped out of the classroom and worked on creating programs that would benefit teachers, and that's what I do. So I work for Teacher Enrichment Initiatives. A little bit about Teacher Enrichment Initiatives. It was started back in 1993 by a gerontologist at the Health Science Center who wanted to do community outreach. And so what he started with a teacher at Northside is developing a program where teachers would come into the Health Science Center during the summer. They would collaborate with scientists and create curriculum, create lessons. And then what we would do with these lessons is the scientists would work with the teachers would attend lectures with the scientists, and from that information they would then create activities that they could then take back to their classrooms and test. Because since 1993, TEI has been doing educational research, and we've actually published about 17 different articles. But over the years, especially once I came on board in 2011, we started changing from focusing on curriculum, because about that time, well, before that time, we started having canned curriculum, and the opportunity to create your own curriculum was taken away. So what we started doing was focusing on professional development for teachers. And that's where the Belfair Biosciences Teacher Academy came in. This is a program that's been developed by teachers. It's led by teachers. We gather all the feedback from teachers to develop all of our programs. So every single one of our programs has been evolved from a suggestion from teachers that attend our programs. The nice thing about the VBTA is that we know no boundaries, we know no grade level limitations, and all teachers are welcome. We focus on the sciences, but what we have found as we've been going along that good teaching is good teaching, and the more that we can include other disciplines and inform them about the sciences, the stronger it makes our science programs. Let's see if I can do this a little bit. There we go. That's better. All right. So, a little bit about our funding. The reason why we're called the Belfair Biosciences Teacher Academy is that back in 2010, a group of teachers, probably about 35 teachers and another 10 or 15 faculty from the Health Science Center got together and started talking about what can we do for teachers. And the Belfair Biosciences Teacher Academy grew out of that. We have been funded by the local funders, the Max and Minnie Tomerlin Belfair Foundation. They have funded the VBTA for the last 6 years. How many of you have ever been to Harburger Park? Yeah, you know all the money that they made from when San Antonio bought Harburger Park, whatever happened to all that money? That's the Max and Minnie Tomerlin Belfair Fund. From that money, the trust was set up, and the teachers is one of the programs that they sponsored. We are fortunate enough now, we were just received an NIH award from the Science Education Partnership Award. So now we are nationally funded through the NIH. And the cool thing about this program is that out of all of the SEPA programs, that's the Science Education Partnership Award, we're the only one in the nation that focuses on teachers. Okay, so that's kind of a special thing for us. So we have our mission statement, and again, this evolved over the years, written by teachers. But the big words that I want to focus on is network of empowered educational professionals, because that's what we are. We're professionals. And by creating the network of educational professionals and sharing that information with one another, we all become better. Our practice becomes better. Our kids get a better teacher and they get a better education. And that's what we're about. We're not about promoting any kind of political views, not at all. We are only about helping one another become the best possible teachers that we can become. So we are led by teachers. We have a 3-year commitment for our leaders. And we also have our committees, teacher professional development, community outreach, and peer mentoring. And again, those committees all grew out of feedback that we obtained from teachers. So here are some tools that we provide for teachers. Our committees have developed tools that mentors and mentees can use as well. How many of you are official mentors at your campus? Ever have been or currently are? Okay, now question. How many of you have received research-based training from your school or district? Yeah, that's what we found. That's what our research showed. About 73% of the teachers that participate in our organization that have served as mentors have not received a research-based training in mentorship, which happens to be required by the state of Texas. So we're dropping the ball. So what we're doing is we're getting feedback from teachers to figure out what can we do to fill that niche. And so we've developed a mentoring program for teachers. It is research-based, and it's pretty soon it'll be up online. We're in the process of finalizing it so we can upload it. We've already had two cohorts go through, and we're getting ready to start a third. The other thing that teachers told us is that money is tight. I don't know about you, but even when I was back in the classroom, money was always tight. And so they wanted help with grant writing. So 3 years ago, we started a grant writing training for teachers. And in 3 years' time, we have helped teachers secure over $25,000 in local funding. Okay? So if you need help with grant writing, we can help you out with that. The other thing that we do is community engagement. The other thing the teachers told us is we want to bring science to our campus. We want to help parents understand how important science is. We wanted to get the community engaged. Or our school is having problems with diabetes and asthma. We have these initiatives. We want to do a program where we can have educate our community. So what we've done is we've put together, again, some tools to help teachers who haven't done a science night put on a science night. And then what we do is I get faculty from the Health Science Center and graduate trainees, which include master's students and postdocs, to come out to your campus along with other teachers from other districts. We come out to your campus and we do some activities with the kids, and it's a lot of fun, and the kids get to meet, believe it or not, there are scientists in this world who are not balding white men. Sorry, no offense. Okay, but when we bring up these graduate students who are in their early 20s, mid 20s, or postdocs that are in their mid 20s or late 20s, and the kids look at these people and they're talking to them and engaging with them, and all of a sudden they realize this is a scientist. It's a girl. Or they look like me. It's an amazing and empowering thing. So a little bit about our programs. We get our information, as I keep saying, from feedback from teachers. So we have our annual fall meeting, which is usually held the first weekend in October. And we invite teachers to come to this. It's a little different. It's not, this is not a make and take. This is not a, hands-on. You're going to hear a lecture. What this is about teachers coming together, similar to this, and talking about what do you need? What's missing in your professional development? What do you need in your toolbox? What do you need to know about in terms of upcoming emerging careers in the sciences? And so we take that information, Team Up stands for Teacher Empowerment Action Meeting, and we take that information and our committees run with it, and they figure out what can we do this year that's going to help San Antonio area teachers. And that's why that Team Up is so important. We also do something, again, in talking to teachers. When you go to a workshop, how often do you have time to actually talk to your colleagues about what you're learning? How often do you have time to actually engage in current educational research or current science literature? We just don't have the time. We close our doors, we're with the kids, and our time is very, very limited. So teachers told us we really want more time with our colleagues. So we invented something called the C3 workshop. Stands for coffee, gotta have coffee, collegiality, and collaboration. And what we do with this is we bring in either teachers or we bring in scientists. And they come in and I tell everybody, prepare a one-hour presentation. Okay, and when you're talking to a scientist, it's like, okay, now be aware you're dealing with an audience that may or may not have a strong science background, but bring in about an hour-long presentation, and then allow for about 30 minutes of questions and answers, and then you're free to leave. Because the teachers will take it from there. We're going to talk about the new science that they just learned. We're going to talk about together how can we add it to our lessons, enhance our lessons, update the science that we're teaching. We have done, in the last 3 years, we have done 60 of these workshops. I've yet to have a scientist leave. They want to stay. They want to talk to you. They want to hear about what you're doing in the classroom. They want to answer your questions. They want to be available to you. Just as we don't have time to engage with scientists on a regular basis, scientists don't have time to engage with us on a regular basis. So this is a very unique synergy that we can create with the scientific community. So it gives teachers time to actually talk to your colleagues and to talk across grade levels. I've had so many teachers tell me when I ask them what their goal is, and their goal is to get their students through this year. And my response is always the same. That's not your goal. Your goal is to get that student, I don't care when you got them, at what age group, your goal is to get them through high school so that they can become a contributing member to this society, so that they can have the most fulfilling life that they can ever hope for. So it doesn't matter. If you teach first grade, you're laying that important foundation for what happens in AP Chem. If you're in AP Chem, you need to be supporting the elementary teachers who are preparing your future students. So we have to come together as a network, as a community of educators. That's what's going to help our students the most. This is exciting. We have this coming up, and I know some of you have already registered for it. Now, I'm going to have some people who are going to speak who are here tonight, and we're going to be participating in this. We are grant funded. Everything we do is free. Everything. So on February 4th, we are having a free spring conference. You have until Monday to register because we have to have sensory. The This conference is free. We are offering 41 workshops this year, divided into 4 different sessions. We have elementary, elementary and secondary is our break-off. And then we also have the things that are applicable to all grade levels. We're going to be having scientists coming in and talking about their latest research. We are going to have special education teachers coming in and talking about dyslexia, talking about our RTIs. We are going to have community resources such as, I don't know, how about systemic? They're bringing their geek bus for us. So we are going to have opportunity for you to see some things that you've never seen before and engage with teachers. We're going to be focusing this year on STEM education. What exactly is STEM? I'll get to that in just a minute. I don't know if you know this lady, but Bonnie Baskin is going to be our keynote speaker this year. She has a fascinating story. Back in the 70s, she was working at a university in the biochemistry department, if I remember correctly. And she had the dean of the school actually tell her, you know what, Bonnie, you are never going to make it on the tenure track because women just don't do well in science. And so she took 2 of rising female scientists from the university, and the 3 of them developed this company. And this company came up with a new way a faster way to isolate viruses and to sequence their DNA. And that hit the market probably about in the late 70s, early 80s. And if you remember correctly, those of us who are a little bit older, the AIDS epidemic was coming in full bloom. Her company became the industry leader and became the standard for how do you identify HIV virus, how do you sequence the DNA from the virus. So she had the last laugh, this professor. But she's going to be sharing her story. She also was the founder of the Hill Country Science Mill. Has anybody been there yet? Yeah, it's if you get a chance to go, it is worth the trip to Johnson City to go see it. Take your kids. It's a great place. The other thing that we're able to do through the VBTA is we have established collaborations. Obviously with UT Health Science Center, we have strong collaborations with those organizations, but we also have a partner organization at Texas A&M with their veterinarian students. Texas Biomedical Research Institute, we have a strong, solid relationship with them, as well as the Southwest National Primate Center. We did actually a field trip this summer with the teachers. We also have summer programs that we run. So here are the benefits that the teachers get from the VBTA. You get to deepen your content knowledge. You get to actually engage with practicing scientists and hear about what's going on in the lab. We get to expose teachers to real-world classroom application. The science that you're teaching in the classroom, you're actually going to understand how it is applied in the real world. You get to introduce teachers to different science careers. There are so many, as the other speakers are saying, there are so many new careers that are emerging. And to meet these kids, I shouldn't say kids, they're postdocs, that are doing tremendous research in the sciences that I never dreamed of when I was a kid. Never dreamed that this was a possibility. Entrepreneurial science industries. San Antonio is a hotbed for this. We are going to be, pretty soon, I imagine in the next 5 years, we're going to start seeing that San Antonio is going to be making headlines in terms of the research that is being done. We're already making some headlines, but the noise is going to get even louder. We have many incubators that are starting here, where we have tech industries coming in, bioscience industries coming in. I know of 3 incubators that are going to be getting started very soon. And these are for entrepreneurs that want to start up an industry within the sciences. It's coming here to San Antonio. And then, of course, we also have on-site support for teachers with the help of scientists. And this is where it gets interesting. In talking to teachers and hearing what you have to say about STEM, this is what we're finding. The biggest concern that teachers are telling us is that they have no agency. We have no say in what we teach in our classroom due to canned curriculum, rigid scope and sequences, and this is a real issue. I don't know, is there anybody here from Northside? And anybody here from SAISD? Okay, Northside did something pretty courageous not too long ago. They threw out their curriculum. And now suddenly teachers have to make their own curriculum. Now I have a master's in curriculum and instruction, but once standardized testing came in, those skills were not used because they already bought curriculum that could be used. So you could just walk in, teach the lesson, and boom, you were done. My daughter's school district, which I will not name, when she was entered high school, they adopted, what was that real popular one that Region 20 put up? C-School? C-School, thank you. Which we happened to find some of our activities that we had written in C-Scope. Yeah, we took care of that. But the C-Scope was introduced in her chemistry class, and I taught chemistry. And every day I would come home and I started out with 2 kids at my table. And by the end of the first semester alone, I had 7 kids sitting around my kitchen table. So I would teach chemistry during the day, and then I'd come home and the kids would show me their C-Scope lesson, and then I would teach chemistry again at night. Not a fun way to spend an entire year, but worth it because they were my kids, okay? So we have issues with curriculum development experience. So SAISD is doing the same thing. Their curriculum is going to be going out the window, and this may be a trend that we start seeing. So teachers are going to have to learn how to write curriculum again and how to assess. The other thing that we need to worry about is vertical and horizontal alignment. We don't have the opportunity. So as educational professionals, the VBTA can help you to focus on vertical alignment, horizontal alignment, because we just don't have time during the day. STEM interpretations, oh Lordy, what is STEM? The number of times if I ever to ask everybody in this room, what is STEM, I would probably get 15, 20 different answers, all right? We don't have a consensus as to what is STEM. What does it consist of? STEM training, just because your school teaches math and science and you apply technology does not mean it's a STEM program. Yeah, I see Lane shaking his head. Lane is actually doing 2 workshops for us at the conference about what STEM really is, and he's with the STEM Academies in Northeast. The other thing that we forget about, that the higher-ups, the administration, that may not have a science background or a math background, what they forget about is that the number of times I've heard administrators say, well, it's okay, my science teachers can teach engineering. My math teachers can incorporate engineering into their curriculum. And you're all smiling, and I love that, because we know that's not true. It takes special training to become an engineer, okay? So, but a lot of times we as teachers are thrown into this assumption, well, you're a science teacher, you can teach STEM. Awesome. No, you can't. You can, but it helps to have the training. And that's where the VBTA comes in. Whoops. And that's where the VBTA comes in. So we passed out some flyers. It has my contact information on it. There's still time to register for the conference. But San Antonio has a lot of great programs to offer. And the more I did this job, the more programs I'm finding. And we're trying to unite those programs together. All right? Thank you. Thank you.